extraordinary. Anneliese, who was more a part of me than not. Our mothers had birthed us in the same building a week apart, and from then on, there were no divisions between us. The 4 syllables of her name were my first song. I remember Friedenglückhasenland. We imagined the place into existence long before the Anschluss, when we were small and pre-literate, as we lay sprawled on our stomachs on the floor of her kitchen, scribbling with our pencils on the back of brown paper from the grocer's. Where do you think we lived before this? She looked up at me with large dark eyes. We have always been here, Anna. We've never been anywhere but here. Our families had lived in the same apartments in the same small building owned by my grandfather since we were born. I thought for a moment. I guess before here, we were in our mother's bellies? No, I mean before we lived in our mother's bellies. Nowhere, I said. The belly is where we start. Anneliese shook her head, the ends of her long hair dancing across the paper. How could we not have existed? We must have been somewhere. She traced the outline of her lips with the rubber end of her pencil as she gazed up at the ceiling. At the left corner of her mouth, a faint scar curved upward so that even at rest her lips suggested a smile. I know where I was, she said definitively. I was in Friedenglückhasenland. Friedenglückhasenland. Peace, happiness, and rabbits, all stuck together in a single word to make a place. I stared at her. I was pretty sure that I hadn't existed before I emerged from my mother in some bloody and uncomfortable way she described in only the vaguest of terms. But I wanted to have always been with Anneliese. I wanted to have come from the same place, to belong to the same land. Was I there? I looked at the rabbit lying next to me. Was Lebkuchen? She looked at me, her eyes drifting to a world only she could see. Don't you remember? We lived in a palace with Mutti Hassa, the mother of all bunnies. She was the queen. She still is. She's about 1,000,000 years old. No, 1,000,000,000. She is the wisest person in the world. She knows the names of all the dinosaurs and has lived on all of the planets. She can talk to trees and turn herself invisible. She has 2 other children, Alexia and Nicholas. Do you remember them? I closed my eyes. I remember Alexia's red hair. She began to take shape in my mind, tall and thin. They were both dancers, Russian dancers. Until Nicholas started drinking too much wine. He could have been so famous, but he started putting wine on everything. He even put wine sauce on his vegetables. Anneliese glanced toward the bottles clustered near her family's waste bin. Her father's bottles. He couldn't balance on his toes anymore. But not Alexia, I added quickly, anxious to save one of them. Not Alexia. There was a Vati Hassa too, wasn't there? Yes, only he died, but not of old age. My belly tightened as I thought of all the ways I was discovering that daddies could die. He died of silliness, I offered. Yes, he decided to be a soldier, but didn't kill anyone, so they killed him. It was silly of him to become a soldier. My brother Willy wanted to be a soldier, and the prospect of his absence was gnawing away at me like a hungry rat. Your daddy was a soldier. I know. That's what I just said. No, your real daddy. Your Vienna daddy. I know. Like most Austrian men his age, my father had served in the Great War. He'd even received a medal, the Kriegserinnerungsmedaille, with crossed swords on the back, reserved for frontline troops or the wounded. Aren't you proud of him?